Hi, Steve Norton, anxiety specialist here. I want to talk about something today that I do see quite more and more these days. It's a lot more common, and it's something I call Peter Pan syndrome. Now, I've just made that up, but that's what I call it. And what is Peter Pan syndrome? Well, it all starts from this, is when you've got parents, like from my generation, and they have children, and they came from quite humble backgrounds. And the mistake is when they say to themselves, I want to give that child everything I didn't have when I was young. And that kid wants for nothing. And whatever they want, they get. They don't have to work for it. They don't have to go wash cars. They don't have to deliver things. They don't have to put newspapers through doors anymore. Whatever they want, they just ask for it and they get it. And it seems to those parents as if that they are giving that child a brilliant upbringing that they need, taking away all the problems, all the hassle from that child. But here's where the problems start, is that what you end up doing is bringing up someone who has got absolutely no concept of value of anything. So when they drop their iPhone on the floor and you just pay for that brand new screen, you think you're being a good parent. What you're actually doing is starting the process of ruining that person. If that person has no sort of concept of loss from breaking an iPhone, and they don't have to work to pay for that back in any way, shape or form, and you just replace it, what are you really teaching that person? So what is this Peter Pan syndrome? And that's something I see quite often, is that when children have been spoilt to the point where they don't have to really work or do anything for anything, they just get everything handed on a plate. When they leave school and they meet the real world, they can't cope. And because they can't cope, they then develop this thing that we call anxiety, which anxiety then gives them the method of being able to duck out of doing anything that actually they need to do. Because when they're going to go to college, or they're going to do whatever, or they're going to go to get a job, suddenly my anxiety stops them. They can use this anxiety thing so that they no longer have to take any responsibility. And it's not even their fault, because what you've done is that because you've not allowed them to learn through mistakes, they've never had any sort of like difficulty in life, is that you've created this very soft, vulnerable individual. You've wrapped them up in cotton wool, and now they don't know how to cope with life. Any small thing in life seems like a mountain for them to climb. So they end up like this Peter Pan character living in a bedroom, and yeah, predominantly is young males, but I do from time to time see some females. And what you've actually done is you've created this monster within them, this person that now doesn't want to do anything, feels entitled to everything. They want to just think they're going to get a job and make 50 grand a year, even though they've got no experience. They don't want to climb the ladder. They don't realise they don't want to work from the bottom and work their way up. They just feel entitled to everything. And you've created it. You've made that person. And now you're taking them to therapy to try to get them fixed. When in reality, what you've done is that you've created that problem yourself, through mothering them, through smothering them, and not allowing them to develop themselves through trial and error. So Peter Pan syndrome is that thing I've created myself, well, the name of it anyway, and I see it more and more these days. So if you are a young parent bringing kids up and you think the best thing to do is give them everything that they need, understand that you're going to be creating the next psychological problem within that person. So, yes, we can go back in time. We can't become what we once were back in the 1970s, 80s or 90s. But you've got to teach that person the value of things. Or if they break it, they need to know that there's a consequence to that. If you just keep replacing things for people all the time, that would, buy them new clothes every time they go and rip them, you're going to create someone who will not be able to deal with life, will not be able to deal with in the real world. And they will create anxiety to get out of that world. So I hope that makes sense. And this is not directed at anyone of my friends on Facebook or anything. Everything I do on here is for educational purposes only. So, but if that rings true to you and you can recognize that, maybe you can make some changes with that. So have an amazing day. I'll see you again soon for another video. Bye for now.